All right, so let's start by going to the Marlins and the Mets. This one starts at 110 Eastern. Mets big favorites, minus 225 on the money line. Marlins plus 185. Total of 7, very low total here. And it's Max Meyer facing off with Tyler McGill, who's been very good for the Mets. The Mets pitching staff in general has been fantastic until I think it was last night they gave up a bunch of runs. But Tyler McGill this season 2-0 with a .87 ERA. So Jenks, to the Mets pitching staff get back in this one, or do you like something else?
I am going with a first five under here. And Tyler
Hmm.
McGill continues to be really effective for the Mets. Like one earned run over 10 and a third innings this season. The advanced metrics really like his stuff as well. And Max Meyer is a guy that, I wasn't really too familiar with until I started researching this game, but he was a top draft pick from the Marlins in 2020, I think it was, but he's been battling back from Tommy John surgery, so he missed the previous couple seasons, but he's been pretty electric early on. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be breezy today at Citi Field. Those Mets bats still sort of were waiting for those things to heat up and get going. Miami is 29th in the first five this season. Mets are 18th. So first five under four is minus 125, and that's going to be the play.
Yeah, that's kind of been what we've seen all season long from the Mets is that their pitching staff has been really good. Like, I think it was a couple days ago that they had allowed a total of 22 runs for the entire season. Their pitching staff has been
Mm-hmm.
really good, but sometimes their offense can go hot and cold. And even going against the Marlins for two of their first series of the entire year. Now, it should be noted that they did score 10 runs last night, but each game, of course, is different. I feel like it's probably more Mets domination here, though. The Mets are
Yeah.
absolutely rolling. Their pitching staff, it feels like you can count on them. And if I'm counting on one side of the equation and the bats, it's going to be the Mets. I'm not a huge fan of taking the run line for home teams, just obviously because if you're only up one run, you don't play the bottom of the ninth. But that's really the only way you can get some value on the Mets. A run line is minus 102 for the full game, or you can take the first 5 run line. Minus the half is minus 140. So either of those plays, that's what I would lean towards, but not my strongest play on the card. All right, up next, let's go to Rangers and Cubs. Starting pitchers in this one, we've got Tyler Mahle, Shota, and Managa, two pitchers that have great stats going into this one. Mahle 1-0 with a 1.35 ERA. Shota, a perfect 2-0 with a .98 ERA. The Cubs minus 150 here, Rangers plus 125, total of 8.5 runs. Jenks, is it a total play for you here, or is it a side?
I think probably the total is, now that I think about it, I think it's going to be chilly again in Chicago, so I'd probably look at
Mm-hmm.
the under here. But I also like Cubs first five money line, minus 145. I mean, Tyler Mahle has been very good, don't get me wrong, but Shota is a different level, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a total of 2 earned runs over 18 and third innings. And if you look at the first five stats, Cubs are second in Major League Baseball in the first five. Rangers rank in the bottom 10 of the league. So I also think the Rangers have a bit of a bullpen advantage. So if you can back Shota, first five money line, not the run line, I really like that. I know it's a little chalky at minus 145, but I'm going to back him.
Well, here's the other thing about Shota is he's putting up these great numbers against the best offenses in all of baseball. Like started the season in that series against the Dodgers overseas for shutout in that one. Then went 7 strong against the Diamondbacks, only gave up 1 earned run, and then against the Padres 7 1/3 with only 1 earned run. So maybe look at the Rangers lineup. You say, hey, they're a good hitting lineup. Shota's been shutting down good lineups all season long. Maybe the strikeouts aren't there. He's only had a total of 4 or less in each start, but who cares? He's getting outs. I think I'd side with Shota in the first 5. Or if you want to take an under, I'm not going to take you off that because it's supposed to be really cold in Chicago, like you mentioned, looking like 42 degrees with steady rain. So that, or maybe you take a Shota Imanaga under his earned runs prop if you just want to play that side of the coin. All right, how about we go around the horn to the O's and the Diamondbacks? Feels like it's going to be a different handicap on this one because we've seen quite a few runs between both of these teams throughout the course of the season. We get another high total at 9. D-backs favored, though, at home, minus 125, O's plus 105. Dean Kramer, 1-1 with a 6.52 ERA, facing off with Brandon Pfaadt, who's 1-1 as well, with a 5.25 ERA. So, Jenks, is it more total here? Are we going with the over? Or let me guess, do you like the Diamondbacks?
I like the over again. I know it kind of burned us yesterday, but you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to win every single over bet that you make or every single bet that you make. But man, I don't know if I can back both of these guys. And we should, in theory, we should see some positive regression from Dean Kramer and Brandon Pfaadt. But Kramer's been rocked so far this season. 7 runs, 9 and 2/3 innings. Brandon Pfaadt has absolutely improved during his time in the majors, no question about that, but has had a similar fate this season. 7 runs, 12 innings overall, even though he struck out 9. But these have been over teams for the majority of the season, and of course, you could always go under again, but I'm not one of those people to take one game and be like, okay, I'm not betting it over again. I feel like when you get O's and D-backs and get a 9, you still go over. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think it's more of the same. And I understand it's hard to go back to the well, but I've done that with who is it, the Padres and the A's. Like last night, I was like, hey, it's not going to hit twice in
Yeah.
a row, right? But I still got to play it because all of the numbers align. So I think if it were anything for me, it would be the over. Maybe a slight lean to the Diamondbacks just because I feel like the pitching advantage is there. Brandon Pfaadt at least has the higher upside as opposed to Dean Kramer, but both these lineups, we saw the Orioles scoring early and often yesterday, or at least they scored 2. I think it was at the top of the first. Like, here we go. Here comes the over. Didn't hit. I do think it's the case today, especially with both of these lineups. All right, where shall we go next? How about the Astros and the Mariners? And I feel like you're going to go with an under
Mm-hmm.
here. Total of 7.5 runs. Both these lineups have been kind of light hitting this year. It's always been the case for the
Mm-hmm.
Mariners. And we get an excellent pitching matchup. Hunter Brown, 1-1, 3 flat ERA. Luis Castillo, not great numbers this year, 0-0 with a 9 flat ERA, but he is a good pitcher. Jenks, am I right? Are you going with the under?
Yeah, I am. Luis Castillo's been awesome. 2 runs in each of his 2 starts. I mean, he's been fantastic. And in any games involving Hunter Brown and Luis Castillo this season, none of those games in which either of those guys have pitched have gone over 7 runs. Both of these teams are top 10 to the under this season. And, you have to look at ballparks as well. We know T-Mobile Park, if you're looking for a pitcher's park, that is certainly one of them. And you can get under 7.5 right now at BetMGM. You could probably go under 7 as well, but I would take under 7.5 would be my lane. So you nailed it.
Yeah. If you look at OPS, now it's the Houston Astros that have the worst OPS in baseball. The Mariners are never a good hitting lineup. They're sitting in the bottom 10. So I knew this as soon as I saw the teams. I was like, he's going under, especially if it's in Seattle, which that is the case. I'm not sure what to do with the Astros right now. It's wild to me how bad their offense is. And we've seen this, sometimes it's a small sample size where teams eventually get better because baseball is a large sample size sport. They play 162 games for a reason. But the Astros have usually been the beasts of the AL West. They've got to get their lineup going, though, if they want to win some games. So I'm not sure how that one's going to go. All right, how about we talk about this one? I know this wasn't one of your favorite ones, but let's just touch on it quickly because your hometown team has been giving the Dodgers the business. I thought it was so funny yesterday because the national starting pitcher, his name was Brad Lord, and I was like waiting for the headline. And I wanted to be like, Lord Downs Dodgers or like something like the Lord's team
Good
takes down
Lord.
the Dodgers. Right. And I didn't
Yeah.
get it. I was so disappointed because he only pitched 3 innings, but he didn't give up any runs.
Oh, man. Lord of the shutout. Good Lord. Hallowed be thy name. I don't know. I'm just like coming up with things. I have no idea.
Just
But they could have
reciting
done
the
something
Bible,
with that.
but
Yes,
the
exactly.
reason I mention this is because the Nationals have won each of the last 2 games against the Dodgers as heavy, heavy underdogs. And I understand that the Dodgers weren't throwing their aces in some of those games, but even today, it's Landon Knack going. So he's 1-0, hasn't given up a run yet. Jake Irving goes for the Nationals. So, Jenks, does lightning strike 3 times in the capital city?
Oh, I don't know. It's tough to sweep the Dodgers, right? Right, especially with Yamamoto on the mound. I think this is probably honestly minus 175. I mean, I'm not going to lay a $175. I think you probably just go. This is where you probably. It's hard to sweep the Dodgers. You got Jake Irvin on the mound facing Yamamoto. I think you probably don't. You just go Dodgers run line here and get yourself some plus money.
I think it's Knack. I think it's Landon Knack. That's who they have on MLB. So they
Oh, is
could
it
have
Landon
changed
Knack?
it, obviously. Yeah. So Yamamoto, yeah, that's a different story than Landon Knack.
Ah,
Landon Knack's good, but he's not Yamamoto good. But you're right. Sweeping the Dodgers feels really tough. But again, nobody expected the National to hand the Dodgers 2 of their 4 losses on the season. So I'm interested in that game. Like, I'm not betting on it. I just thought that it was worth mentioning. All right, how much time do we have left? Oh, we got 30 seconds. I was going to talk a little bit about the Braves and the Phillies, but they burned me yesterday. So maybe that's not a game or a series that I should be betting on.